This meeting to order at 5 p.m. Please be advised that FATV is conducting audio and video recording of this meeting for public broadcast. I ask that anyone else in the audience who is recording this meeting to please identify themselves by standing and stating their name and city of residence. Seeing none, I ask that at this time all electronic devices be placed into silent mode. The Fitchburg Cultural Council is a public entity. We are part of the Massachusetts Cultural Council, serving as the local cultural council. Our mission here is to elevate the rich cultural life in Fitchburg, and our members are appointed by the mayor of the city of Fitchburg. We all serve as volunteers, and we are always looking for new members. Feel free to talk to any one of us to learn how you can get involved. You may also email us with your interest at fitchburg.mcc@gmail.com. I'll now call the roll for councilors present tonight. Joe Bowen, that's me, I'm here. Liz Murphy.
Here.
Dan Dow.
Present.
Shara Osgood.
Present.
Mike Amadeo.
Here.
Lily Gomez-Fernandez.
Here.
Catherine Healy.
Here.
Jen Hemingway.
Here.
Eva Kelly.
Here.
Ricardo Barros.
Here.
C. Moran.
Here.
Millie Whitfield.
Here.
Okay. We open every monthly meeting with public comment. We have a full quorum tonight. We open every monthly meeting with public comment. If there is anyone in the audience that wishes to speak, please step up to the podium, state your name, city of residence, and the agenda item for which you'd like to speak for not more than 2 minutes. And seeing none, we will go to the agenda. So on our agenda tonight, we will be discussing our new members, our grant report, a treasurer's report, the minister review, and we have a guest coming, Derek Craig, to talk with us about the Creative Network Summit, which we briefly covered at our last meeting. We'll be able to talk a little bit more about that with Derek when he comes. And then we'll wrap up with the Councilor Roles and Councilor Roles discussion and the upcoming announcements. So first up was the new members. And what I'd like to do is welcome our newest members who were recently appointed last week, and that's C. Moran and Millie Whitfield. Welcome. And we're all excited to have you on the council and looking forward to working with you. And Millie, it's great to have you back. Because we had you back in 2018, so it's nice to see you again. And I think who we had, Ricardo. Ricardo, we introduced you last month.
I was already here.
And Eva. This is your first time at the table, so Eva, welcome.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you as well. Okay. There's also on new members, we do have an interested resident of the city who has joined us tonight. And Sarah, I don't know if you'd like to come up and introduce yourself to the council. You could just step up to the podium here, state your name and city of residence, and then tell us a little bit about yourself and your interest in the Cultural Council. We'd love to.
My name is Sarah Beth Wheeler. My maiden name is Gagne. I come from a family steeped in the history of Fitchburg, Massachusetts. I moved to the Cape when I was 21 years old. I lived there for 27 years, have 3 kids in their 20s, moved back home to help my family, and I'm so glad to be back. I would like to give you a short testimony of how your grant programs have brought me to this very moment. When I moved back to Fitchburg, I saw that there was a competition called Words from the Burg. I have been writing since I could pick up a pen. I've done many performances. I have my own copywritten album. I love art. I went to Words from the Burg. I got placed in the competition. I came. I met wonderful people. Those wonderful people let me know about the openest mic, Laura. And so being a poet and a performance poet, I was so excited. You know, I'm home back in Fitchburg helping family, and I needed a community to kind of help me with where I'm at now. And I came home to Fitchburg, Massachusetts, and found this community. Not only did I find the openest mic, which I am enjoying and loving immensely, I found the Creative Summit. So I have just mentioned how many grants that you guys have voted on and approved of that bring me to the very moment where I stand before you, and I would like to say that I would really appreciate the humble honor to be able to be on a board that represents art and culture in the city of Fitchburg. We are so much more than anybody really knows about, and the way I feel about art and culture, especially in the times we're in right now, is that art and culture have the opportunity to unite people no matter what their stark differences is. We can all look at a Van Gogh and see what that is is, and it is beyond all the labels that separate us. I would love to be a part of anything that raises information, education, and also availability, particularly to those who don't have the funding to be able to have the sort of resources to access arts and culture in our community. So I am here today with all of that, just to let you know I do have a lot of history in public speaking. I am aware, and I have a rusty memory of Robert's Rules of Order. I've been involved in 2 committees that brought an entire convention to a hotel on Cape Cod. So I'm here today. I'm excited to sit and listen, hear what you have to do, and find out if this is a good fit for me for service. So thank you very much, everybody, for listening.
Great, thank you very much,
If you
Sarah.
have any questions, I can answer them.
Yeah, at the conclusion of the meeting, we'll set up some time one-on-one with either me or one of the other interested folks here on the council to go through the expectations and the requirements for being on the Cultural Council, and hopefully it'll be a good fit for you. But are there any councilors who would like to ask any pointed questions about what Sarah has discussed with us so far?
Got one?
Sarah, yes?
I was just curious what, you said you have some experience with public speaking, but
Yes.
what skills do you see yourself like bringing to the council, and like where would you like to plug in?
One of the things I'd really like to do is become a bridge. I have some ideas about the college that we have. We have a wonderful arts community that's local through what amazing work you guys have been doing, and I feel like that the college may be an untapped resource, bringing more art to the community that the local community could probably have access to. I'm also extremely interested in volunteering in education. I would absolutely love to be able to bring arts and culture into the schools so that these kids can actually see that it's possible to be an artist, that you can go out there and you can do this. I have a beautiful niece interested in art, and I've brought her to Words from the Berg and to the Fitchburg Art Museum because I want this young girl who is so talented to see that this is possible. You can do this as an option for you. Arts are an option. So those are just some of the things on my mind, but I really need to hear how you work, what you do, and how I could possibly fit in. Did that answer your question?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have a question for Sarah? Okay. Oh, yes, Liz, go
More
ahead.
of a comment than a question. I just want to make sure that you're connecting with Laura. I know she has plans for a poetry week during 01420 week. So I think that'd be a great opportunity for you to maybe partner with her on what
That
the
sounds
activities
great.
for a week. So
I can plug in with her, absolutely. We keep in contact.
great.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Liz. Anyone else? Okay, thank you, Sarah.
All right, thank you for your
Touch
time.
base after the meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, I do have another new member opportunity for us to discuss. And for those of you who were listening very carefully at the roll call, I did not call for Tamar Russell Brown on the roll call. Tamar's term has expired. She's finished her second term. And unfortunately, she's feeling ill tonight but can't be here. But she and I had conversations, and she has expressed interest in serving as ex officio member of the council. If there are members of the council who are so moved to make such a motion, we could discuss that as needed.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Liz
I'll second that motion.
to nominate
Already.
Tamar for ex officio. And Ricardo beat you to it, Catherine, sorry. Ricardo gets the second. Anyone speaking to the motion? Yes, Shara.
I just want to say I really support it. Tamar has been invaluable. She served as the chair, and she understands a lot of how things work, and I think it would be good to keep her on as an ex officio.
Thank you. Liz?
I think broader. I don't know that there are a lot of other boards and commissions that have terms that expire and don't allow you to renew. So I think big picture, we probably want to take a look, or it would be great if we could take a look at that. But in the interim, absolutely ex officio.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, well, I will just say that I have been around since before Tamar had joined the Cultural Council, And it was an honor to work with her and develop her into the chair to take over for me after my prior term had expired. And she was able to carry this organization through the pandemic, which was very difficult to do for a lot of people. And I'm proud with how far we were able to come during that period of time while she served as chair. And now she is ready to be around to give advice to all of us and share her experience with those of us who may not have gotten a chance to work so closely with her. So I'm excited about this if everyone is so moved to vote for this. Okay, so with that, we don't need to do a roll call vote because there are no counselors on Zoom. So all those in favor?
Aye. Looks unanimous.
It looks unanimous to me.
Yeah, we were 12.
Okay, great. And actually, Millie is abstaining. She's not sworn in yet.
Yes. Okay.
So,
11.
but I'm sure she's supportive.
Why would you not vote for that?
All right. Next item on the agenda is the grant report. Dan?
Good evening, fellow Cultural Council members and citizens of Fitchburg. After diligently working over the past month and with the support of our treasurer, Liz Murphy, I am happy to announce that all payments and grant reports for the 61 grants of FY24 have been accounted for. I am now in the process of closing out the year's documentation for submission to the mayor's office for filing. As for FY 2025, of the 73 grantees, I have received 26 grant agreement contracts, which have been sent to Miles Wilcox of the mayor's office for processing. Of these 26 grantees, 2 of them have already filed final grant reports. In an effort to provide better communication on grants that have been filed for processing, Miles has created a shared grant support sheet, which he regularly updates as he processes grant agreements. We are working together to ensure the Fitchburg Cultural Council spreadsheet and grant support sheet are in alignment. This process is already helping us ensure grants have been received and processed. Miles and I will be meeting in the coming weeks to ensure our grant review process and spreadsheets are in alignment with FCC needs. In the meantime, I continue to record my processes as I create new documentation for future grant coordinators. As noted previously, this is a work in progress, but it's going well, and I'll just continue working towards it as I serve as grant coordinator. Once again, thank you for your time, and I look forward to a productive FY 2025 grant season. Any questions? Comments?
Thank you, Dan. So do we have a motion to accept Dan's grant report?
I move to accept it.
I have a motion from Mike. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Jen. Anyone speaking to the motion or have questions for Dan?
Well, thank you.
Liz?
I just want to commend you on actually getting all those final reports in. That's actually a pretty amazing feat.
Yeah, thanks for your help, Liz. Like it was a tough one, and Liz and I cracked it, and it had been hanging around for a long time, and it's all set. And just working, communicating with all grantees, and just being patient goes a long way. So it's a great year so far. So.
If it's possible for me to also have access to that document that you're referring to, that would probably help me in my role as treasurer to make.
Miles?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send an email.
I can.
Yeah, really, I don't need to send it. Just let him know, and I'm sure he's happy too. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Thanks, Liz. Anyone else speaking to the motion? Okay, all in favor? It is unanimous with Millie abstaining. Okay, treasurer's report, Liz.
Okay, so I know it's been a little bit since we have had a treasurer's report. So you'll see a little bit of activity from a couple of months ago. Starting at the top of the treasurer's report, that is our local funds account. So when we receive payments for signing up for the Winter Bazaar, things like that, or if we receive a donation, that's where this money goes to. So we did have a little bit of activity. You can see the bolded items are the activity since the last time we had a report. We had some investment income that was just realized through the auditor's office. We did take in $305 from the Winter Bazaar. And we spent $170 on Minuteman signs, so we actually are a net positive from that bazaar. If you look down at the next two boxes of activity, those are accounts from FY22 and FY23, and they've actually been, those dollars have been rolled into, current year, but we have to charge to them to like fully expend them, so you still see that there's a little bit of a balance there. No real activity from the FY22 account, but we will ask Miles when he starts to make payments on those grants to start with that FY22 account, clear up that balance, move to the FY23, FY24, and then into our current year. So in February, we did have a couple of grantee payments that went out to Maria Vasquez, and those took a while. I think, Dan, you probably remember we're going back and forth on those. So finally got those paid. There was no activity in the FY24, and actually our FY25, which is on the second page, we have that full balance of $58,600, but no transactions have happened. Miles is actually putting those grants in this week, so we should see checks issued not this coming Friday, probably the following Friday, assuming everything goes well. So there's a summary at the very bottom of your sheet that shows the balance of all of the accounts, and we have a combined balance of $79,559.69. Most of that is committed to the actual grants that we just went through and awarded, with the exception of the local account.
Okay.
Does anybody have questions?
Thank you, Liz.
You need a vote first, right?
Is there a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
Motion to accept treasurer's report.
I have a motion from Dan. Is there a second? Was that you, Jen? Sorry.
Second.
Okay. Jen seconds.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone speaking to the motion? Any questions on the treasurer's report at all? My one question is, if I am reading this right, we actually have some cash in the administrative account. Is that correct?
We didn't allocate any admin in this newest grant.
Or I should say discretionary money. Is that?
We had only the local account, I believe. So admin.
That's the top part. The top part. We have money in that account.
Yeah,
So okay.
with the exception of the scholarship, the rest of it is really not committed to anything.
Okay.
That's the discretionary money.
Oh, right.
There was 1 year, I think it was FY20, not sure if it was FY22 or FY23, where we did allocate some admin for the administration of the grants, and we didn't fully
Yes.
spend it, but that, poof, goes back into the
Goes back in the
kitty
pot.
to
Yes.
get,
Right.
you can't retain the admin past that,
Exactly.
that grant year.
Yeah, I had my terminology mixed up, so thank you. All right. And the reason I was asking for that is because later on, when we get into announcements, there's an event, the Community Club Expo, that has a table fee if we want to participate. So I'll be seeking a motion for us to cover that, and it's a small amount of money. Okay. Thank you. Anyone else speaking to the motion? All in favor? That also looks unanimous. Millie abstaining. Thank you, Liz. Next up, we have 2 meeting minutes to review. There are the meeting minutes from February 24th, our monthly February meeting, and the subcommittee meeting for the grant funding planning. I will go with whatever the council would like to do in terms of voting these in. We could vote them separately or together. And so anyone who would like to make the motion, feel free to jump in.
I move that we vote together.
Okay, thank you, Ricardo. I have a motion to approve the minutes for February 24th and the subcommittee on March 3rd. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second from Shara. Anyone speaking to the motion? Okay, I just have one thing I want to say, and it's well, as always, it's a really big thank you for Shara for putting these minutes together in general every month, and Ricardo for your assistance with the minutes on the subcommittee meeting.
And Mike.
And I'm sorry, Mike. Yeah. Mike, you did it. I thought Ricardo did it. My
Ricardo
apologies.
recorded.
Oh, Ricardo did his recording. Okay, got it. Great. So thank you both. I'm encouraged by the conversation that the subcommittee has had. with regard to grant funding planning, and it looks like we're starting to move the ball down the field, so to speak. And I look forward to more developments in your next meeting when we get a chance. Maybe by the third meeting we'll have an opportunity to be presented something to the full council for debate and discussion. I'm not holding you to it, but we do. The clock does continue to tick, and we need to be pretty close to resolve before summer, if we can possibly do that. So. That's what I have to say. Mike, you have something to say?
On that last note.
Yes.
Is that we'd like to have a chance to present to the whole council, or it's a must-have before we change the?
Well, there is the subcommittee's role was to come up with a way for us to fund our grants, the next grant cycle. And we pretty much need to have that ironed out before we start doing public input meetings for the public to give their input on what they would like to see us fund. But because we're changing up how we fund, we need to get their input on that as well.
Okay.
So we need something to present. And I would prefer that we present the subcommittee's finding to the full council for adoption, so then we can then take that to the public for their comment and adjust accordingly.
Okay.
But that's a great question. Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else have a comment or question on the minutes? Okay, all in favor? It is also unanimous. Thank you. With Millie abstaining. Okay. Next up was the discussion about the Creative Network Summit, and Derek is not here yet. He did say he was definitely coming. He was in Boston today, and he sent me a note. He was on the train, so I know he's slowly making his way here. So I think we'll skip over that for right now, and let's talk about roles. So since most of you are new, this may be a new experience for you to see the document I had sent out showing the various job descriptions that the Mass Cultural Council proposes as things to think about, positions we might want to have on our council. Since we have grown dramatically in size in the last 3 months, we are now at a position where we could share some of our knowledge and experience and skills to try to help promote and move the world of arts and culture forward in the city in whatever way we wish to do that as a council and with the public support, of course. And so I wanted to use this opportunity, since I did send out the various positions more as inspiration than we need to find somebody to do this job and to do this job, but it was really more for inspiration. I'd like to open the floor just for general discussion. If there are some who have read through this and are inspired to say, hey, I really want to do this. This is, when I read this meant a lot to me, and I think I can work with it. And maybe we could just kick it off from there and see where it develops. We have some time between now and 6 o'clock, or really till Derek gets here maybe, to go through and discuss this. And maybe we can come out of this with someone saying, I want to self-nominate and be the social media director, or a person in charge of social media, or a person in charge of running the winter bazaar and spring bazaar every year, or something like that. The floor is open for what everyone would like. What I would like to do, though, is let's respect Robert's Rules of Order. We need to make sure we're talking through the chair. It's more beneficial for the recording. We may all be able to hear multiple voices at the same time, but these microphones do not. And so we'll try to let one person speak at a time. So I'll open up the floor to whoever would like to kick off their thoughts. Ricardo?
I have a question. So for the example positions that you have listed here, I'm sure that there's precedent. Are there guidelines for how to go about these things, or how they've been done in the past?
It would depend on. I guess it would depend on the position. We've had in the past the Fitchburg Cultural Council. We have had chairs and co-chairs, secretaries and co-secretaries, grant coordinators and co-grant coordinators. We had a social media manager, and what else did we have? Anyone remember who was here before? I think that might be it. That's what we've had, and then the rest of us contributed in some form to those roles.
because I'm new to this, but as a professional photographer, I've worked with marketing, for example. I'm not a social media person, but I can get involved with the publicity, but I've never done it for an institution. So
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, well, if you're interested in using your photographic talents to help promote the work of the Cultural Council, we will certainly accept that.
No, I wasn't specifically meaning I'd make photographs. I was saying I can write publicity release, press releases,
Oh, okay,
and like
okay.
that type of thing.
Okay, so yeah, so in the world there is the publicity coordinator
Yeah.
role. It wouldn't be all inclusive, if your talents is around the writing part and maybe not the social media, like you said. It could be a shared role. And I would probably pull social media out as its own role versus the publicity, and that the two roles would obviously work together to do that. So is that something you're interested in?
Yeah.
Okay. So was there anything specific in the publicity coordinator role there that you'd like to strike from the responsibilities? This isn't going to be like a hard and fast job description. We're going to do performance reviews and things. But I just want to make sure that, is there something beyond what's here that you'd like to consider?
No, it's just a little bit of daunting, all those things in there.
Yeah.
And I know I think it can make a contribution. So.
Okay, yeah, this will be an evolution for all of us.
Yeah.
And so we'll start with that. So Ricardo has self-nominated to be the publicity coordinator. Is there a second in support of his nomination?
I second.
Lily is seconding that motion. Anyone speaking to that motion? Yes, Liz.
I guess I'm asking, would it make sense to have teams in some instances? Like, does it have to be one person doing it alone, or could there be a team of two people?
It could definitely be a
One
team.
support.
Yeah, we could definitely have a team, as we did with the chair and the co-chair
Right.
and so forth. Yeah, this isn't, Ricardo's, it won't be an island on an island, so to speak. If there's others that want to contribute, they're certainly welcome to do that. Okay. Anyone else?
Anybody want to join my team? Come on.
There was a time I think we had a publicity or a marketing subcommittee that was made up of the person doing the social media, so when we had the TV show, and some other press releases and things that we would do. So we may get to evolve into that if that's of interest. So yes, Shara.
I don't know if this is out of order, but I just think that maybe as we have new members who have only been here for one meeting, or this is their first meeting, to maybe let them get settled in to see how things are before they commit to something
Oh, absolutely.
like being running a committee, a subcommittee.
Yes, absolutely. And perhaps I wasn't clear enough in what the goal of this conversation was. Is really just to get to know what each other's talents are and where we might want to contribute. Ricardo had offered the self-nomination of that publicity coordinator, which we're grateful for, and we're currently discussing that motion.
Can I change that nomination to be, rather than be the leader, to participate, and we'll just determine who the leader is later?
Okay, sure, no problem. So that means you'll be withdrawing your nomination.
Oh.
Which is fine. That's Robert's Rules of Order. It's all good.
Well, that's not what I intended, but okay.
But you have to agree to withdraw your motion, otherwise we have to vote.
I have to agree. I do agree to withdraw my motion.
All right, very good. So
I just
yes,
want
yeah.
Ricardo to feel like, and anyone that wants to create any kind of material for a social media position, that like they'll be supported. Like,
Yeah.
As like the grant coordinator, like my background is writing and communications, and like if someone does want to take over, like, or just like help guide the process of communications and just like the marketing material we can generate, like I'm all 100% on board with helping that person succeed. Like I'm just from my perspective, I'm not going to let you fail. Like, don't feel like you're on an island.
Okay.
We're all here. We're all here to help each other.
Yeah.
And I say that to everybody. Like, if you need help, reach out to one of us. And I'm a stay-at-home dad, so I'm around, and I'm always willing to help anybody with that kind of thing. And as a communications person, I just feel like the communication, I've said this to Joe forever, I feel like the communication aspect of this council, of creating material for like a steady stream of social media is super, super important for us. So people know what we are and what we're doing, and that we're there as a community entity to support them, because I think people just forget sometimes. We all forget. Life's fast, right? Mm-hmm. So we're all here for each other, I guess. I don't know, but I just wanted to let you know that you're supported, and anybody that wants to take on over a role is supported, 100%.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan. Anyone else like to talk about their interests and how they might want to support? Yes, Catherine.
Hi, I want to commend you for putting this all together because it's super organized, and
Thank you.
we all have our strengths and weaknesses and interests. So I'm going to default into the education coordinator, and glad for your question because I don't know to take all together, but helping members would be welcome. So I don't know if you had considered some sort of survey or Google form for all of us to fill out so that we could show where our interests lie.
Yes, absolutely. I had intended on doing that
Yeah.
earlier on, and time got ahead of me. So I thought I would just throw out these positions and inspire some people to think about how they might want to contribute to the council. But before the next meeting, I'll have a survey go out to all of you so you can list out your various skills that you'd wish to contribute to what we're trying to accomplish. And the list I provide is only going to be what came out of my brain. If there's something that's in your brain that missed mine, it should go on the list. So feel free to add to that. Thank you, Catherine. And in terms of on the education side, one of the things that I would like to see us do is to get members from the school system, some school kids in either high school or probably high school. I don't know if we could go lower to middle school, but depends on time and availability of the student and the parents, right? And also college students from Fitchburg State. Would be nice to have, so we have some good contribution from those two areas. Yes, Liz.
Is that something that, right now, are you thinking about to join the council or to create a sort of a student cultural council that might be adjacent, work with us? Or is that kind of open? You don't know what?
Yeah, I don't know what it would look like. In the past, we used to have a high school student serve on the cultural council, and it worked out well. They can't commit to a 3-year term with us, but they can serve as a full-fledged voting member of the council for the 1 or 2 years they're in high school, because generally they graduate and they go off to college and they're nowhere near the city anymore at that point. But we actually found it very helpful and useful for determining how we want to fund things and what areas of focus we have. Plus, we have our finger on the pulse of the youth of the community, and when we have that, we can then inspire the youth to become part of the council or maybe other boards and commissions and serving the community as adults. And I think it's a great opportunity to open those doors. Okay. Yes, Dan.
In that respect of things, like grants are open to college students, to high schoolers, to middle schoolers. And this year we didn't have any from that. I should know, I'm the grant coordinator, right? This year we didn't have anyone from those categories, and I know in years past that we have. So it's important that these people know that, like, we again, like communication, like we serve them, and we are a resource for them, for young people. And that if they have a good idea that they need funding for, they should apply for a grant, and it makes them comfortable with the grant process. And we should all think about, where it's a great stepping stone to apply for bigger grants, for bigger ideas, and there are grants out there. So, yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else have a contribution? I saw a hand. Yes, Lily.
Just a question following a little bit of the discussion. Funding would be open for international students, for example, because I don't know how the funds can be allocated. Like if the funding is received in a certain way, like international students could help, like maybe proposing a project. And the reason why I ask is because I don't know if there are certain rules that would impede them from something like that. But Fitchburg State has like a large community of international students that they might be interested. But I don't know if the fact that like, because of how the funds that they receive, if they could receive them or not. So that's something that like if you know, or if they would not be eligible, that we focus on maybe communities that can create new projects and that they do not have any problem with how they receive.
Yeah, that's a great question. I know that if there's a mechanism in which we are able to issue funds to an international student, then absolutely. The grant itself, it needs to meet all the qualifications that we set forth through public input meetings and Mass Cultural Council guidelines. You know, in general, it needs to be for the benefit of Fitchburg and the worlds of arts and culture here and that sort of thing. And it's not important. It's not as important as who's executing on it as it is about what is being executed. And if there's a way we can figure out how to fund that. And Liz, maybe the work you've done with the auditor and treasurer's office might be a way to do that. But I'll let you have the floor.
So off the top of my head, I think the first thing that we just have to understand is, do they have a taxpayer number? Because that's part of the process in order to issue a check. It's usually for most of our grantees, it's like a social security number if you're just an individual, but otherwise, a taxpayer number. So I don't know if most international students get something like that when they are coming here for school. But, that's one thing. And then I think the other question is just, are they still going to be here to execute the grant, since there's a time lag between application and the grant year?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So does that help answer your question?
In general, yes, but I think that if at some point we would like to have a liaison with Fitchburg State, just that we have those answers like very clear to say like, yes, these people could be eligible and these people could not be eligible. So just that we know what we could offer in terms of like what funding we could give, and also that they know who could be eligible in addition to the requirements that we already have established. So, I mean, the answer, literally, like the question came while I was listening to the conversation.
Yes.
So if at some point we would like to start getting involved with people from Fitchburg State, that we know specifically like these answers. So in general, it's answered, but I think that with the specifics, I'm going to defer to you to answer the question, to have more homework, basically.
Right. Shara?
I just want to speak to that. So my guess is that being international, if they're not a citizen of this country, that they wouldn't be eligible for the funding, but they could have a fiscal sponsor, or they could have the university sponsor them, and then they could distribute the money. So there's always like a way around it.
Yes, Liz.
I'm not sure that citizenship is a requirement for the state's grant funds. I know a lot of federal grants do require citizenship, but that's something that we could just ask the Mass Cultural Council.
Yes.
And then I wonder how that figures into our rules, our criteria, because currently I think it's you have to either be a resident of the city, or I don't know how it figures with students, but we'd have to look into that. I just think it's something to look at.
So we'll take a look at the rules on that, Lily, and see if we can get some clarity on it, and check with the Mass Cultural Council as well. But Shara had a good point about the fiscal sponsorship. We've had that in the past. We've provided funds to a fiscal sponsor of individuals' grant. In addition, we have had fiscal sponsors for sometimes when folks are on public assistance and they want to do a grant or they want to do a program that requires grant funds, those grant funds count towards income for that person. It could put that person's benefits at jeopardy, and they find a fiscal sponsor to accept the funds. And perhaps it's along the same lines. They could do the same with international folks. But I'll see what we can find out about that. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Millie.
So I know I can't vote this evening, but
You're welcome to speak.
I did want to say that the special projects coordinator did jump out for me, because that's something that I'm good at. That's my wheelhouse. So I'd be interested in that, heading that up, and then, but also with other people, because that is definitely something that takes more than one person to be able to coordinate.
Yeah, great. Yeah, thank you for your interest. I have that noted.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Unless anyone has anything else that they'd like to say, we'll close out this agenda item. Yes, C.
So, well, I wanted to introduce myself, but I didn't want to say too much too soon. So I would say, of all of my great skills, my mothering and cheerleading are two of my best. So I think I don't know what you called it. This is excellent, by the way. It is very organized, and I appreciate that. The fundraising coordinator, I think, is something that I could myself around.
Wonderful.
Because I really enjoy helping others see the value of things that I am passionate about. So.
Awesome. Well, we'll put you down on that, and yeah, be sure to check that box when we get the fundraising on the assessment we send out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. We'll close that part of the agenda, and I saw Derek arrive while we were talking about that. And Derek, good afternoon. Welcome. We're going to switch over to the discussion about our Creative Networking Summit, a recap of that. And how are you tonight, Derek? I'm glad you made it.
Thanks for having me, inviting. Hi, guys. Hi, everybody.
Hello. I don't know if everybody knows Derek, but Derek is he was the chief coordinator of the Creative Network Summit with his organization, Coffee Corp. So thank you.
Yeah. It's fantastic. I wish I brought notes.
That's okay. You can talk off the cuff. You're good at it.
Creative Network Summit. So Creative Network Summit, for those who don't know, took place on February 21st and February 22nd. It was 2 days. The first day was Friday evening at the Fitchburg Art Museum. We had roughly 65 attendees at the Art Museum that evening. And then on Saturday, we spent the whole entire day at the Fitchburg Senior Center. With panels. There were probably another 65 to 75 people who attended on Saturday. The inception of the event actually started where a cohort of stewards, myself, Liz, Laura DiCaronimo, Estefania, and Christine Regan-Davi, and Francisco. We went to San Francisco, part of a community leadership institute with NeighborWorks America. And while there, each cohort gets, grant funds to implement a project. And while we were there, we were really bonding over this idea of helpers helping helpers. How do we create an event or create some type of project where all of us creative leaders, who most of us are teams of one, or we operate in small capacities, and we're trying to do all these special projects and trying to implement change, but it's hard to then cross-pollinate or then ask for the help where you need the help, or maybe you need board members, maybe you need diverse people to sit at some of these tables. When do we always have that opportunity? Pair that with creative cities and the need for more leadership development, more partnership development, more opportunities to continue breaking down silos, and also in creative cities where we're with other sister cities like Lynn in Springfield and the pilot program in New Bedford. And these cities are known for arts and culture. Gateway cities are known for arts and culture. It's something that is written across all the gateway cities, how arts and culture is economic driver. And so it's like, okay, well, with this opportunity of creative cities and a lot of attention on Fitchburg as a hub of arts and culture, why don't we put together a summit or something of substance that, like, in these other cities they do on a regular basis, like, it's a regular Friday afternoon for them. With that, having a lot of creative leaders, a lot of you were there, so thank you for that. Thank you to the planning team. And I think for, everybody, hopefully, I know a lot of people got meaningful connections, got to talk to people who they may not have talked to previously. A lot of people who had never been to Fitchburg, traveled to Fitchburg from as far as, like, New York, maybe? I forget. There was somebody from New York.
Yeah, there's a lot of people from out of town.
And I don't know. It was great. And my the biggest takeaway was, so if y'all are watching this, it is that the community, that it is an event for the community. I think in promoting arts and culture events, and this is just something that I'm personally learning. Being specific where arts and culture is. When we talk about creative economy, showcasing how we are driving the economy, how we are. Someone spoke about it at the summit, like some of the things where we may feel are, hindrance to Fitchburg and the community and its access are points of interest and points that would drive people to the community. And then the things that are here, like the multiple barbershops and the mini restaurants and all of these things play a part within the creative economy. Having events where both it showcases specific sectors within all of the many industries that exist here, the industries that are emerging, especially as more funding for niche projects, individuals is coming into the community. And then having these opportunities to have big grand thing. I don't know. Hopefully I answered. There was no questions. Questions?
The floor is open if anyone would like to say anything to Derek or
Shara?
ask a question. Yes, Shara.
I just want to
Shara got big shout outs at the event also, in case you didn't know. Go ahead, Shara. Sorry.
Yeah, it was very nice to be acknowledged. I love all of the community projects that I've done here in Fitchburg. And I just wanted to congratulate you guys on the success of the project, and I hope that it's going to become an annual thing, and I'm hoping that I'm sure you are already working on funding for next year.
Are we already working on it?
Of course we are.
Yes, Mike.
I attended some of it.
Yes.
Friday and some of Saturday. Excuse me. Sorry. I was just wondering, in terms of our expectations before the weekend, did we about meet them, or were we over, in terms of number of attendees, generally speaking? Were there half again as many or twice as many people relative to what you expected? Did we do much better or a little better? Or worse? I don't think it was worse.
In initial planning of the event, we expected about, I would say, 250 to 300 people over the 2 days. So landing at about 150, given the timeline. Again, there was not logistics, but trying to get answers from folks, trying to get confirmations, help promoting the event. It hurt promoting the event, in a timely manner, in which then I think to the, speaking to the community, hey, this is business, this is for the community, right? It's an opportunity for the community, folks who may not partake in everyday arts and culture activities. It was. So I think, because we weren't able to properly express that, I wish we had hit 200, But I will say, Liz, I was surprised. So like I don't know that, you know what I mean? Like the number was less than what we wanted. However, from attendance and like feedback and just the energy within the room, it exceeded expectations.
Okay. Cool, thanks.
Thank you. Yes, Ricardo.
Yeah, I really enjoyed going there also. I thought it was wonderful. And I was disappointed that FATV had another commitment and they couldn't record it. But I saw you guys setting up. And were you able to get a recording that we can access? Because I know I went to one of the workshops and then there was another discussion going on at the same time that was in conflict with it.
Yes, so we were able, the panels are now on our YouTube channel, on the Coffee Network YouTube channel. Once Audrey is helping me put together like some more nicer graphics, and then we will share the video files to FATV so that hopefully they can broadcast them as such. But they are public right now.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else? Liz?
I just want to say, even though originally we talked about a much higher number in the early planning, I think the number that we have and the energy we have made it a very successful event. And my biggest takeaway from that is that everybody there really wanted to connect around creativity and the arts, and like people are looking for that. So I think if we have more events like that, we're going to have more success with that and engaging folks together to do, just to live in the creative world.
Yeah. I agree. And I hopefully as, I don't know, like I guess my history in event coordination and things like that, what I hope on that same is that, I know like Shara was somebody who was like in the planning, but also doing their own thing. And so what I hope in future years is that the community now just wants to do that, because this is what I think is going to happen. What I know is going to happen is that there are so many people who wanted to participate, again, maybe not understood what was being asked of them, and now want to share their expertise, right? Like they want to share what, because, while it was great to have a lot of the creative leaders from around the Commonwealth, the intent was to have the creative leaders from here and invite those same creative leaders to Fitchburg to hear about, what it is we are doing, why we are so great, and how our community synergy is working together. Again, but I think it's a time thing. So now having more time, having this discussion, getting the invite here with y'all, and having that runway to kind of plan these steps ahead and ensuring that we have the representation from the community, in balance with having those who are advocating at the state level and advocating for different policy changes, so we have a better balance. Other than that, fantastic.
Thank you, Derek.
Thank you.
Anyone else have anything they'd like to say or ask Derek? Yes, C?
I'd just like to say that I did attend as well, and it was a tremendous event. I mean, it was wonderful. I was in on a couple of the strategic planning meetings. You are a very good leader. You stay right on task, which I appreciate so much, and you're an action star. So you actually do things that you say that you're going to do, which I appreciate very much. And I think it's a testament to your the things that you said earlier about how when you're in times of transition, you're looking for community. And that is one of the best things that you do, Derek, is you create a community of people that make others feel safe, welcomed, included, and it's huge. So it's an honor to continue to help you do that.
Thank you. Thank you. Looking forward to more opportunities. How do I get the rundown of all the is it public? I can get a public of the awardees and know when people are doing different programs and projects. That's public
For the Cultural Council?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's public on our website.
Cool. Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
mass-culture.org/Fitchburg.
Yeah.
Or you could just ask me later, and I'll get it to you.
Okay. All right.
Does anyone else have anything they'd like to say before I speak? Okay. I had mentioned this last month. I enjoyed attending the summit. It was everything I expected and more, in terms of being able to make connections with people that I didn't know. And it's one of the best things that I like to do, is to find new people to help make a difference, and then, hook them, reel them in. And most of you at this table are a result of that. And I'm excited to see what we can do together, but we can never have enough of that support, and events like that need to continue, and I'm glad that you did that. Personally, for me, I did enjoy the panel on the creative ecosystems, where there was a gentleman from the Lynn Music Foundation over there, and he was talking about creating this pipeline of a pipeline for entertainers to make their way through Massachusetts and southern New England and what have you, and that we need to get on that circuit, so that we can, become more of that hub that we already are. And I think that when we can get ourselves into that circuit, I don't know how we'll do it, but I met a guy at the summit who has ideas, and I think we're going to work and try to figure out how to do it. Liz did a great artistic event with the attendees and creating lanterns, and had those things spread out around. Thank you for doing that.
And right now they're looking for a home to be after. Actually, what I'd really like to do is maybe do another workshop at some point, just to get a little more volume, so that it can really be impactful, and then maybe we can get them strung up somewhere for a couple of weeks or something.
Might be a good event for the Cultural Council to do.
Yeah.
Who knows? Also, we did have the mayors from Leominster and Fitchburg speak at the event, which was really great to learn about their perspectives on arts and culture and why the folks there are making a difference. The event Friday night at FAM was those receptions are always great, and it's a great venue to have it. And the beautiful exhibit in the hall was a great backdrop for what we're doing. It really was. And I had made a note here, other connections that I've made. I mean, there are people, as you had said, Derek, from all over. I missed the person from New York, but I had Lynn in Springfield, Attleboro, New Bedford, and Salem, Massachusetts. And just having perspectives from others is going to help make things better for us, because we don't know what we don't know, and if we don't talk to people, we can't make a bigger difference than what we already do. And I'll just wrap up, Derek, just to thank you, not just for your visions, but for your inclusiveness and your ability to execute on projects. It's a major contribution to the world of arts and culture in the city of Fitchburg. I'm really proud of you and appreciate all that you do, and looking forward to continuing to work with you. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Buy Black Market, Juneteenth at the City Hall. See y'all there. Thank you to the Fitchburg Cultural Council.
Thank you, Derek.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, we're almost out of time. We're at the end of the meeting. We just have some upcoming announcements. I have a few things, and then I don't know if anyone else has some announcements they'd like to make with regard to events. But I do want to jump right into the Community Club Expo. For those of you who haven't seen the advertising for that, it's an event that's being held this year over at the Fitchburg Cultural Alliance in the hall there, and it is a opportunity on April 14th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. for all boards and commissions and other groups that are looking for members and wanting to promote the work that they're doing. And this is something that we participated in at the last one that was held at the Y last year, and I would be interested in doing the same this year. This year there is a table fee of $15, and I would like to entertain a motion to use our locally raised funds for $15 to participate in that, if they're okay, even if just I go and man the table, because I will definitely be there, and hope that there'll be others interested in joining.
I'd be happy to make that motion to spend $15 on a table fee for the Community
Club Expo.
Community Club Expo.
Yes, thank you, Liz. We have a motion. for the table fee of $15 to join the Community Club Expo on April 14th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I have a second from Jen. Anyone speaking to that motion? Okay, all in favor? And that is unanimous, with Millie abstaining. Thank you all. And if anyone's interested in joining me at the table, we can talk about coordinating time and what we'll do. I don't even know what we'll do. We'll definitely have our flyers out there, our newly developed flyers. Okay, the other thing that I had on here with regard to events, I did want to, well, actually, this isn't an event, this is just an advisory for the Cultural Council, is that the governor has not renewed our authority to use Zoom for public meetings for councilors. All our meetings need to be held in person after March 31st. So please keep that in mind going forward for our meetings. If that changes between now and the end of this month, I will hear from the governor, and I'll be sure to pass that information along to you. Also, 01420 week is April 14th through April 20th. There will be a bunch of things happening during the course of that week. I do not have the details, and we will be publishing them, though, online for folks to see. Everything is coming together, and I'm looking forward to that week. It was a good week last year. Anyone else have any announcements or events and things that are happening?
I have one.
Yes, Dan.
The Alter Egos Worcester Chamber Music Society event is happening at the Fitchburg Art Museum, April 4th. It is a FCC-sponsored event.
Great, thank you.
Can you say what it is again?
I'm sorry, it's the Alter Egos. It's a Worcester Chamber Music Society event. It's occurring April 4th at 7:30 at the Fitchburg Art Museum.
Okay, yes, Liz.
Dan just reminded me of another event, and it's actually a 01420 week event. The Thurston Consort is going to be doing a brown bag lunch concert at City Hall on April 18th. So that should be Friday at noon, and I believe it's going to be on the 3rd floor.
Great, thank you.
So bring your lunch, come listen to some music.
And for those of you who are watching this and are interested, we do have there is a community volunteer-run website for events happening in Fitchburg. It is fitchburgmass.org. You could also go to the city's website to find links to that as well. It is a Google Calendar, and all the events and a whole lot more, all the events that are happening during 01420 week will be published there as well. Okay. If no one has anything else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion from Mike. Any seconds?
Second.
No one wants to leave? Okay. We got a
Pardo, second.
Here all night.
All right, we're adjourned. Thanks, guys.